Hi, I'm here at e-car Expo in Stockholm with Maximilian Missoni and the Polestar O2. Hi Maximilian, what's your role in the Polestar O2?
So I'm head of design. I lead the design team at Polestar. I used to be head of exterior design at Volvo, and then I moved to Polestar probably 2-3 years ago, or maybe a bit before that. It was a very fluid transition, if you will.
Yeah. And now we're here with the Polestar O2.
Yes.
Why is it named O2?
So O2 stands for oxygen, and it's like if you think about what electrification can do for open cars, for example, this would be then the connection to the name. I mean, it's quiet, it's no exhaust, so all you get when you open the roof is pure oxygen.
Is it fair to say that this is your first sport car?
No, actually not.
No. The one is a sport car as well. Yeah.
Well, the one obviously is a very sporty GT, but then many years back, my first ever concept car I did just after college was a blue Roadster at the time for a different brand. And it's funny because so many years, that's 20 years ago, so many years passed, and you might think from the outside, okay, one is a blue Roadster, the other is a blue Roadster, has anything changed? But the world has changed and we're now in an era of electrification, and that gives us completely different possibilities.
This is a concept car, but its technology is mostly real and you can do today. But there's a lot of things here you couldn't do like 2 or 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. So the point of this car is actually threefold. So first, it's to showcase the technology underneath it. So we have a bonded aluminium unibody. That's a really stiff, really high-tech structure that we're using for the Polestar 5 that's coming up. So that's an architecture that's been developed by Polestar for Polestar. And this architecture also underpins this car. So it shows what kind of scaling possibilities you have. That's one thing. Really important to be a player in that segment. The second thing clearly is our design language. It's very clear we have our own design expression. We're very proud of our front end with the dual blade headlamps, with things I will explain to you in a minute, the smart zone. So really Polestar's own identity and this pure design language. And the third thing clearly is our bridge between the fun of driving and sustainability. And that car has a lot of these ideas embedded into it. What you see here is the smart zone. And the smart zone is this area here in front of the car, which traditionally was used for getting air into combustion engines. And we have taken that area, repurposed it, as I always say, from breathing to seeing. What that means is that we put all the systems that you need for level 4 autonomy or for pilot assist driving in here, like radar sensors, cameras, and then heating and cleaning systems that are needed to keep these things going at all conditions. And that gives it this new design here in the front where you see all these technical parts. We also call it Smart Zone. And it's funny because everybody carries a smartphone in their pocket. Yeah. This term hasn't been protected in the car realm, so it's our word. Polestar owns the term smart zone.
You have since the Polestar 1 showed off your technique in different ways, and here it's the smart zone is really branded. Is there a purpose with that?
For us, it's important to go to a new era of aesthetics where you go away from the chrome and from the wood and the classical paradigms of the car industry, if you will, things that have always symbolized I'm a premium car, I'm in the luxury segment, but instead replacing that with technology, because that is the new feature to have. That is the new premium expression of the future. So actually showing off radar sensors or a LiDAR on the roof, that's the new sense that we want to, the new sense of aesthetics that we want to promote. If you're familiar with Thors Hammer, that is from the family resemblance of Polestar to Volvo. This is where we started from. And this is an evolution, but it became a really unique, strong signature that we now have in our cars. We call it the dual blade. So it's Thors Hammer moving apart, kind of, if you will, quoting a little bit the two halves of the star of the brand symbol. And it really turned out to be a very strong, recognizable brand identifier.
And here you have Okeboni brakes.
Yep, we already know them from Polestar 1. What's really special here is that we have this balance of very architectural design language, so it's very clean, very graphical. The first read is always graphic design nearly, and then it's complemented by these beautiful sculptural shapes. And I think these two components together, again, also with the attention to detail that we have, with the tiny tags and the writing on the body, all of this creates the Polestar look. The O2 is a retractable hardtop, which means that this part here opens, and these two roof segments, they fold into the rear part of the car. There's another little thing that we have integrated into O2, which is the drone. I call it the Polestar Companion. It's because it feels a little bit like a companion, and it's back here in its little garage, and when you're driving, you can deploy it by pressing a button in the interface, and then this gate opens, the drone comes out on this track on a magnetic launch pad, it takes off at speed, and then it takes footage of you while you're driving, and when you're finished with it, it lands back into the car, and you can immediately in the screen, in the interface, edit the content and upload it to your friends and family or to social media.
When you see this on picture, it looks like a two-seater, but it's actually a four-seater.
Well, it is a 2+2 seater. Yep. So what that means in the car industry, it means that you have 2 seats in the back, but the leg room is quite limited. So it's for children or for child seat application, so that would work. Light signatures have become quite a thing in the car industry. So what you can see from far in the dark with your vehicles. What we have done here is we have combined the typical Polestar light signature, this elongated light bar, with aero blades at the side that increase the range by improving the drag coefficient. So normally when air flows around the car, when it leaves the body, it creates a vortex, like a how would you call it? Like a turbulence here. And the further you take that turbulence away from the body, the lower the drag will be. And this is a combination of a light with an aerodynamic feature. What we find a lot in today's vehicles is that all the nice materials that you get on interiors, for example, be it aluminium, be it wood, they get bonded together. And that makes it very hard to recycle them at the end of the life of the vehicle. So what we experimented here with is monomaterials, which means that imagine that all of the soft components of the interior are made from one single highly recyclable thermoplastic. So a material that can be not only recycled once, and there's no disassembly then needed, but it can be recycled over and over again. And that's what we call circularity, and that's such an important milestone to reach zero carbon emission in the future.
Thank you so much for showing the Polestar O2, and when can I drive this one?
Well, that's a very popular question these days. Well, we do concept cars to showcase what the future could bring. So, and we're also testing the feedback by the public. And so this car is on the same platform as a Polestar 5. So it's quite a realistic proposition. But for the time being, it's a concept car and only that.
My feedback is make it happen. Thank you so much.
Thank you.